So we definitely want to take cover from that. But if you are taking shelter, please do so in the center part of your house, away from windows would be best. And this warning is officially not up until for the next 30 minutes, you guys, but I do expect that we're going to possibly see it be canceled shortly if it does continue to weaken as it is showing. I'm going to bring up the velocity here. This is going to show you at least a little bit of an idea of the winds, and at least we'll be able to see the colors here. Now the green is towards the radar, the red is away. I'm going to try to see if I can highlight this here a little bit to give you guys an idea of what we're looking at. This is where the circulation is at, and that's the part that we are most interested in. And right now, as you can see, it is just basically directly over the city of Lumberton, but it is not incredibly strong at this moment. But we are going to continue to watch this as the warning does go on until 9:15 into the evening. So again, areas back to the east, Bladenboro, you are definitely in the path of the storm here. And we had Butters up just a moment ago. See if I can bring them back up again. And I will track the storm still back to the east at 30 miles per hour. These are the counties or the cities involved. So Hestertown in 1 minute is basically on top of Hestertown. Allentown, you would be the next in line, and in less than 8 minutes. So you have a very short amount of time to take shelter. Again, we still have a tornado warning in effect for Bladen and Robeson County. Right now the circulation is directly over the town of Lumberton, but all those cities that you see there are in the path of the storm and should definitely take shelter right now. But again, the good news is that it does appear that the storm is somewhat weaker. There's not a very tight circulation on it, so I do think that, well, we are going to not have to worry about this one, at least in the very near future, but we're going to continue to watch it as it is still rotating and it could still put out a tornado at any moment, so treat it as such. Of course, we still often see plenty of other things along with a tornado-warned storm. You can still see torrential rainfall, dangerous lightning, and strong straight-line winds that can also produce damage. So still, if you're in the path of this storm, definitely take shelter anywhere indoors, of course, would be best. Now here's at least a little bit of a wider look of the showers and storms. A large cluster is moving off to the east and tracked through parts of Florence and now is moving into Mullins. But the biggest concern we have is this storm over here towards Lumberton, of course. This is our tornado-warned storm, and it does go until 9:15 for Bladen and Robeson counties. That doesn't quite reach Elizabethtown, but it does include Bladenboro. And you folks that are over Lumberton, the good news is it does appear like the worst of the storm has passed off to your east. So folks in the city of Lumberton, you guys should be in the clear right now. The center of circulation does appear that it is off to the south and off to the west. It appears that the circulation is also still not incredibly strong, so we are still going to treat this as a tornado is possibly on the ground, so folks definitely need to take shelter anywhere in Robeson County between Bladenboro, Lumberton, and between Elizabethtown. I'm going to pause this here and we'll give you guys a track where you can all see it here. Okay, here's the center of circulation. I'll circle it for you guys. Here it is right here, just down to the south and east of the city of Lumberton. And we will now continue to track it out to the east at 30 miles per hour. Okay, so that does include Allentown. Now at 5 minutes away from Allentown. Bellamy, 10 minutes. Butters at 15 minutes. Dublin in 29 minutes if it does last that long. We'll continue to track this storm. It's in effect. The tornado warning is in effect until 9:15. So we do have some time, but again, luckily it does appear that the circulation is not incredibly strong right now, so we're going to cross our fingers and hope that this warning does expire, or even better yet, if it could be canceled in the near term. But meanwhile, you folks in the town of Butters, it is closest to you. Below that is Bladenboro. And moving up towards Dublin, you are also in the path of this storm. Remember to take shelter indoors, away from windows, the lowest part of your house. If you have 2 floors, take shelter in the bottom floor of your house. If you're in a mobile home, try to find a better suitable shelter than that. If you have to get in a car and travel a long distance, then you're just going to have to abandon your shelter and take cover in either a ditch or some other suitable shelter. But a mobile home and a vehicle is not the place for that. All right, continuing to track this tornado warning. In effect until 9:15 for Bladen and Robeson counties. Again, you folks back in Lumberton, things look okay there. At least the circulation has moved off to your east. So areas in Lumberton, at least in the very near vicinity of downtown, it appears that you guys are okay. The storm has moved off, although there is still plenty of rain and lightning associated with this. So again, a tornado warning just doesn't mean that's the only thing. Remember that we still have torrential rain, we still have strong damaging winds, and of course plenty of lightning. Hail is a possibility with this, but it is not the main threat right now. I don't think that we would see hail much larger than the size to about a quarter, but still everyone should be taking shelter if you are in the path of this storm. And we'll get a new track on it here shortly. But again, the good news is it still does appear that the storm is continuing to weaken, although it is still a pretty strong storm. The circulation that we are most concerned about does appear to be slowing down some. So this is very good news for everyone in the path, but we're going to do one more track on it here, moving to the east at 30 miles per hour. Those are the towns in the path one more time. Bellamy in 4 minutes, Butters in 9 minutes, it'd be Bladenboro in 16 minutes, and if it makes it to Dublin, which I expect that it's likely going to stay a little bit more towards the Bladenboro area, so I think that you folks up in Dublin should be okay for at least the near term, but still everyone in the path should definitely be taking shelter right now. And of course, areas back to the west luckily are still seeing very heavy rain, wind, and lightning, but are not in the direct path of a possible tornado that is there. We do not have confirmation that a tornado is on the ground right now. That is the very good news. But we are going to be watching the storm very closely over the next several minutes because the warning does go until 9:15. So we have another 25 minutes that this could go on, and if the warning does get extended, we'll continue with that as well. All right, we're going to, okay, we just got another update here. So this is keeping up really well. Live Doppler 15,000 is still showing that circulation very clearly. I will circle it here. Right here is where we're most interested in. Luckily, even though it's a strong circulation, it is not very tight. It's very broad, so it's likely that there's not a tornado on the ground with this right now, as we can see from radar, but that's the only thing we can see. We don't have any spotters to be able to tell us for certain whether or not a the tornado is on the ground with this storm, so we want to take it that there could very well be one. So we're tracking the storm about 30 miles per hour off to the east. And we're still getting updates to still show that the storm is weakening. So that is the very good news, folks. Bellamy, Butters, Bladenboro, and Dublin. You are the folks that are in the path of this storm. Definitely be taking shelter along this path if you're anywhere near it. Okay, the warning has been canceled for the town of Lumberton. So that is the good news. The storm is, at least the tornado warning part is now past Lumberton. So you folks are now in the clear in the town of Lumberton, and it is now moving still towards the south and a little bit towards the east, towards the town of Butters. We are not far away from that town limit. I'm going to see if I can try to measure exactly how far away we are from that town here. So there's the city of Bladenboro. Butters is very close to that area. Now we're looking at Highway 2, this looks like Highway 211, directly over Allentown near the town of Butters, but we're not far from Bladenboro. So we're talking only a distance of about 8 miles up Highway 211. That is the area that we are at least concerned with. But again, luckily, the circulation does not seem incredibly strong and very tight. So I do think that we still have plenty of rotation, but I think right now that the storm may not be producing a tornado on the ground as I can see it right now. But still, again, we are going to certainly treat this storm. Now, the town of Butters, you guys aren't even really seeing any heavy rain yet. Neither is Bladenboro or Dublin. But if you look off to your east, well, it looks like Butters might just now start to see the very heavy rainfall. And again, we're continuing to track this tornado. It's moving off to the east at about 30 miles per hour. We're going to include the town of Dublin just to be on the safe side. Okay, so there's our tornado warning until 9:15. Luckily, the western portions have been canceled out of it, so the town of Lumberton, you guys are in the clear. The storm is moving off to the east at, well, actually they've upgraded the speed now. Now we're moving to the east at 50 miles per hour. So it is really starting to chug along. We're going to back this picture out and give a little bit of wider view to include Elizabethtown, because it may start to include Elizabethtown now as well. So you folks in Elizabethtown, if you're watching, this is definitely including you. And I'm going to do a second track now here. We will include Elizabethtown. Now, if this actually lasts all the way to Elizabethtown, it will be there within another 17 minutes. Next in line would be near White Lake Lagoon and Libson, like that Lisbon. But appears that it may just pass to the north of Clarkton, but still Bladenboro, be in your shelter right now. We definitely want to make sure you're taking shelter. Of course, the best place to be is down near the bottom floor of your home, away from windows. A bathroom is best. If you're in a mobile home, you definitely do not want to be there. If you can get out of a mobile home, you certainly should take cover. Again, even though this storm may not be producing a tornado at this moment, there are still plenty of other things associated with this. Of course, strong damaging winds, straight line winds, those can still bring down trees and power lines and cause damage to homes, roofs, all those sorts of things. So even though the rotation is not incredibly strong and tight right now, I think we definitely need to be able to treat this storm at least seriously, because it is strong enough, and we could see that circulation wrap up really at any time, but luckily it does not appear that it is doing that at this very moment. But still, be in your shelters right now, folks. Okay, so now, excuse me, the town of Butters, it is off to your north. We're going to retract this for you. We'll put it in motion to give you an idea exactly where it's headed to. All right, so the circulation is passed off, and it looks like the center of it is going to miss the town of Bladenboro. So you folks in Bladenboro, it seems like you may miss the worst of it. It is going to be directly between Dublin and Bladenboro here, probably in the next 5 to 10 minutes, traveling to the east at 50 miles per hour. So it's really moving along quickly, folks. It will be near Dublin in the next 9 minutes, and that's Highway 131 between Dublin and Bladenboro. And anywhere in between there is where we are most concerned about. But as it moves out of, we're getting a lot of messages here, but as it moves out of the county here, away from Lumberton, that's the good news. Is I know you guys are probably seeing a lot of wind and rain, but you folks in Lumberton are in the clear as far as the tornado is concerned, or possible tornado. And once we make it to Dublin, I think we're going to be able to turn it back over to our regular programming here. But until then, I think we're going to monitor. Okay, this is starting to look at least a little bit better. I'm seeing better news. It looks like we're not seeing as much rotation with this. I do think the tornado warning may be allowed to expire here shortly. Not a very strong rotation with this right now, so that's the good news, everybody. Okay, so Bladen and Robeson County. It is now exiting Robeson County. So I do think we're going to be in the clear with you folks in Robeson County over just the next 5 more minutes, I believe. And I think we are going to be completely in the clear with it being out of the county, and also still starting to see it fall apart as far as the circulation is concerned. I still think we're doing just fine there. So everything is looking okay so far. We're continuing to track this. The warning is in effect until 9:15, but I'm having a good feeling that it's not looking very impressive right now. It is weakening considerably over the last 30 minutes or so. And the circulation is not only weaker, but it is not as wrapped up. It's not as tight. So that's very good news if we're focused on any potential for a tornado. So here's the area we are concerned in. I'll circle it for you all right here. That's where we're looking at. The green is towards the radar, the red is away from the radar, and that is showing where a circulation would be. If there was a tornado, that's where it would be, right there heading towards the intersection between Bladenboro on 131 between Dublin and Bladenboro. But it is going to be exiting Robeson County here in just the next few minutes, and again, it's starting to look weaker by the minute, so I think we have very good news there. And it is also picking up speed. Okay, I think we're looking better. I know you guys that are back to the west in Lumberton, if you were taking shelter, you may come out of your shelters now. Everything seems to be okay. Down towards the town of Butters, it is now pushed off to your north and off to your east. So the town of Butters, you are also in the clear. Bladenboro, you are also in the clear. It should pass way off to your north. And near the town of Dublin, it's going to be very close to the town of Dublin here, but we're not far from it. I'm going to put one more track on there. It is now crossing out of Robeson County, near the town of Dublin in the next 15 minutes if it actually reaches there. But luckily the circulation does appear to have fallen apart over the next several minutes. And really it's been very good news over the past several minutes that even though the tornado warning did go out, we did not see any reports of any damage on the ground from this. We did not have any reports of a tornado, but anyone who was taking cover from this in Robeson County, it appears it is now exiting Robeson County, heading towards the town of Dublin. So you all may come out of your shelter. Of course, if we have any more warnings like this, we will definitely pass them along. But right now, this tornado warning is officially in effect until 9:15. But areas in Robeson County, it does appear that you are all now in the clear. The circulation has weakened, and it is now exiting out of your county. So we will come back with any more notes on this situation. If anything more develops, we'll definitely bring it back to you. For now, we will certainly send you back to your programming right now.